Hope and healing. A young Shelby County boy diagnosed with spina bifida was not expected to live, and if he did live, doctors did not believe he would walk.
I'm so happy you came.
I'm really happy I came too.
Some lives aren't like any other. They are literally once in 1,000.
Before my skin and Shelby's friends, and I knew by their reactions they had something strange.
Some are born with unique features, while a few are treated unfairly by nature. But these souls never give up.
Does it give you superpowers?
Let's meet these people who walk among us, defying all the odds.
What's his name?
Before my skin and Shelby's friends, and I knew by their reactions they had something strange.
Gary Stretch isn't just any man. He's the one with the world's stretchiest skin. As a preschooler, he noticed his skin was, well, different. His uncle would pull and stretch it to entertain his friends, and little Gary quickly learned his talent wasn't ordinary. Now he wows crowds by pulling his skin into incredible shapes, even using his belly as a makeshift table for beers and bottles. It's not all fun and games, though. Stretching this much takes a certain grit and sense of humor. Sure, shaving's a breeze, but living as a real-life elastic man? That's a story of embracing the extraordinary.
Okay, let's go now. Okay, now next.
Nail dreams. Can you imagine having nails that stretch out 18 feet long? That's exactly what Ayanna Williams of Houston, Texas has. Her nails are so long that it takes her an entire week to polish them. And get this, she's been growing them for over 23 years. At first, she wasn't sure why she started, but a little encouragement turned into a world record. Now, she's got the longest female nails in the world, each one about 2 feet long. Her nails even get their own pillow at night. Talk about dedication. It's not all glamorous, though. Everyday tasks like washing dishes are a no-go, but for her, it's worth it. Horns of Mystery. A 107-year-old Chinese woman with horns growing from her head. Sounds like something out of a dark fairy tale, right? But it's very much real. Her family first noticed a strange 2.4-inch protrusion on the left side of her head, and before long, another one sprouted on the right. These bizarre growths are what doctors call cutaneous horns, made of keratin, like your fingernails. But here's the kicker: no one knows why they happen. They can be surgically removed, but they don't solve the underlying mystery. Scientists are still scratching their heads, trying to figure out the cause and the cure. It's a real-life riddle, and it's as strange as it sounds. Unstoppable strength.
We're going to roll you a little bit to get this.
Born with a rare disorder that caused her legs to grow uncontrollably, Mandy Seller faced challenges from day one. But rather than letting her condition define her, Mandy chose to live on her terms, fiercely independent despite the difficulties. Then came an infection that forced doctors to amputate one leg to save her life. For many, that would have been the breaking point, but not Mandy. She's fighting back, learning to walk again with a prosthetic, and continuing her journey with an inspiring strength that shows anything is possible.
My bottom actually kind of reaches the seat.
Unbreakable bond. Imagine being born with your skull fused to another person's. That's the reality for Joy and Joyce, the craniopagus conjoined twins from the Philippines. Doctors gave them only 10 years, but here they are, 18 years old, and proving every doctor wrong. Separating them could give them a normal life, but at a cost, $75,000. That's why their mom left home to work abroad, all to give them a shot at that surgery. But don't think that's their whole story. These girls, they're living it up, sharing TikToks, making memories, and raising awareness for the surgery they need. Talk about a warrior spirit. Real-life Hellboy. Matthias Schillett's life could have been defined by his difference. His right arm, twice the size of the left, was a target for teasing throughout his childhood. But instead of shrinking away, he turned it into his defining strength. Born with a rare condition, Klippert-Trenaunte-Weber syndrome, Matthias became an arm wrestling champion, dominating competitions, and even taking down a robot designed to defeat humans. What once seemed like a flaw became the key to his success. Matthias's story isn't just about overcoming adversity, it's about redefining what makes you different and using it to break barriers. Fighting time. Haley Oakhimes was only 9 years old when her world was already shaped by a disease that no child should ever face. Progeria, the disease, which causes kids to age at an alarming rate, had already taken its toll, stealing her hair and strength. But despite the odds, Haley didn't just survive, she thrived. By the time she was 15, she had already surpassed the expectations that most doctors had for her. Haley's story is one of resilience and hope, proving that with medical breakthroughs and an unbreakable spirit, even the cruelest of diseases can be fought. She's not just surviving, she's living a life against the clock. Unbreakable Spirit.
Does it give you superpowers?
Meet Brock. This little guy is only 4, but trust me, he's something else. He's got this rare condition that makes him stand out, but not in the usual way. He has a cleft palate, which affects his speech, and his condition is kinda like progeria, but in reverse. He ages slower, not faster. It's honestly wild. But here's the thing. Brock's still all smiles, curious as ever, always playing and exploring his world. His family, they totally embrace him, flaws and all. It's a reminder, really. No matter how different we are, we all deserve love and understanding. We could all learn something from Brock's pure joy and strength. Defying limits. I can't help but be in awe of Nick Vucicic. Imagine being born with no arms or legs, facing the kind of challenges that would make most of us want to throw in the towel. But not Nick. This Aussie bloke didn't just survive, he thrived. Sure, life threw its punches, and yeah, he had moments where the world seemed too heavy, but he turned every obstacle into a stepping stone. A school captain, a uni graduate, and now a motivational speaker, Nick's message is simple. Don't let what's missing define you. His story, one of triumph over adversity, reminds us that no matter the circumstances, we all have the power to dream big.
Just flashed in my brain. I'm like, hey.
Ellies Resilience. Ellie's story is both tough and really moving. In his small village, he definitely stands out, not because he wants to, but because life has dealt him a rough hand. Born with developmental disabilities, Ellie spends his time wandering the forest, munching on grass, and keeping his distance from others. The villagers, not knowing better, make fun of him and call him Monkey. But behind those hurtful words is a mother who loves him fiercely. After losing 5 kids, Ellie's mom values him like no one else. She deals with the pain of watching him get bullied while trying to raise a child who struggles to communicate and often runs off into the wild. Her hope, just like Ellie's quiet strength, never really fades away. Unseen strength. Meet Lindsay Hilton, a CrossFit athlete from Nova Scotia who was born without arms or legs. She doesn't see herself as an inspiration, just someone doing what she loves. She's been doing CrossFit for about 7.5 years now, and what's fascinating is that she thrives on challenges. She's not out there with fancy gadgets, just a step stool in the kitchen. Her motto, try it, take a risk, and see what happens. It's that mentality that drives her, and when you watch her work out, it's clear. This isn't about being extraordinary, it's about doing what you never thought possible. Maybe, just maybe, that's the secret to her strength. Unlikely blessing. Have you ever felt different, like the world just doesn't quite understand you? For Devendra, being born with 14 fingers and toes wasn't the kind of difference that held him back. It became his unique strength. Growing up, he faced teasing and challenges, sure, but those extra digits didn't stop him from becoming a skilled carpenter, working with saws and hammers every day. He even turned it into a point of pride, calling his condition a blessing. Yeah, it can be tough, but he wouldn't change a thing. Devendra's message is clear. Embrace who you are. There's power in your uniqueness. Size matters. Jeff Gabe's life has always been, well, bigger than most. Growing up on a farm, his size was both a blessing and a curse. He could toss hay bales like nobody's business, but finding clothes that fit, that was another story. Shoes? Forget it. He'd wear 2 different sizes just to make it work. And then there's the wedding ring. His is literally the world's largest, a massive 38 ring size. It wasn't easy to make, but when he finally got it, he knew it was worth it. Sure, his life's not always easy, finding clothes, handling his giant hands, but he's learned to embrace it. Bigger might be tough, but it's also a gift. Tongue tail. Adrienne Lewis has always embraced her uniqueness, from the moment she realized she had one of the longest tongues in the world. While it might sound like a novelty, it has been a huge part of her life, shaping her experiences and opportunities. But as much as she's proud of her talent, she has learned that some people just don't get it. The attention isn't always positive, and at times, the comments can be downright cruel. Despite this, Adrienne chooses to do her own thing. She doesn't let the negativity define her, preferring to focus on the qualities she values most: kindness, generosity, and a sense of purpose. Shifting faces. Imagine waking up every day, looking in the mirror, and seeing a face that's a little different. At first, the family in this story felt like it was a curse, like they were the subject of some weird artist's experiment. They were shy, uncertain, and tried to hide from the world. But one day, they posted a video on TikTok, just sharing their regular lives. To their surprise, it went viral. People were captivated by their ever-changing faces, and they realized they had the chance to turn their secret into something powerful. Instead of hiding, they embraced their uniqueness, used their platform to raise awareness, and ultimately found a whole new world of opportunities and connections. Hand speed legend. Breaking records is never easy, but this man had something that set him apart. A relentless drive to prove that limitations are just opportunities in disguise. Born with color regression syndrome, he wasn't supposed to be where he is today, but he didn't let that stop him. He wanted the title of the fastest man on 2 hands, so he went for it and crushed his own expectations in the process. His family and support system were by his side, pushing him to become the best version of himself. His message is clear: hard work can break any barrier, and now his eyes are set on Olympic gold, hoping to surpass even the legends. Unbelievable lashes. Meet Muin Pacino, a 5-year-old boy from Moscow, and trust me, he's not your average kid. Imagine having the longest eyelashes in the entire country. Seriously, they're so long, they could be in a beauty pageant all on their own. His parents, after noticing his unique eyes from birth, took him to specialists to make sure everything was okay. Thankfully, Muin's health is perfect. Fast forward, and Muin's eyelashes are now over 3.5 centimeters long. Recently, they've even grown another ½ centimeter. Who knows? At this rate, he might soon be a worldwide sensation, with those lashes reaching new records every year. Epiphanys Hope. Epiphanys' life isn't what most 17-year-olds would imagine. In a small village soaked by the relentless rainy season, she faces more than the daily struggles of school and chores. Born with kyphosis, a severe spinal condition, she endures constant pain and unkind stares. Bullies call her names, mocking her curved spine. But Epiphany has her own way of fighting back, outperforming her classmates academically. Her dream of becoming a doctor fuels her determination, even as poverty and her health threaten her education. With her widowed mother struggling to care for 7 children, their crumbling house adds to their worries. Yet, Epiphany remains hopeful, praying for a miracle to secure her future. Eye-popping fame. Kimmy Goodman's life took an unexpected turn when she discovered her unusual talent, the ability to pop her eyeballs out of their sockets by squinting and pushing. For years, she kept this quirky skill hidden, even from her own family. It wasn't until a mild head bump well into adulthood that her secret came to light. In 1997, Kimmy took a leap of faith, auditioning for Late Night with David Letterman's Stupid Human Tricks. Her performance left the audience and Letterman himself stunned. That single moment catapulted her into the spotlight. With her newfound fame, she earned a Guinness World Record, traveled internationally, and appeared in commercials. Unique eyes. Imagine being a kid with eyes that can't help but stand out. That's exactly the case for Mehmet and Kerem Selman, 2 brothers from Turkey whose eyes are as different as night and day. Mehmet, the older brother, was born with 1 blue eye and 1 brown, a rare condition called heterochromia. His younger brother, Kerem, has the same striking feature. Sure, they used to love the attention they got for it, but now, as they grow older, they sometimes wish for a little less of the spotlight. It's funny how something so unique can eventually feel a bit heavy, isn't it? Still, their parents, Swat and Ezra, see it as a blessing, a reminder that what makes us different often makes us special. Tiny giant.
I'm Jyoti, the shortest woman in the world.
Standing just over 2 feet tall, Jyoti Amjay is officially the shortest woman alive. But trust me, there's nothing small about her spirit. This girl lives for fashion. Seriously, she can rock an outfit like nobody's business. And she's got the acting chops to match, landing roles in TV and movies. What's wild is how she inspires not just fans, but even Sultan Kuzin, the world's tallest man. Can you imagine that? Jyoti proves that no matter your height, or what life throws at you, family, grit, and a dream can take you anywhere. Kind of makes you rethink what's possible, right?
मीडिया पे फोटोज और रील्स बनाती हूँ तो
Standing proud. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and all eyes are on you? For Macy, that's not just a moment, it's her whole life. She's been taller than everyone around her since preschool, growing steadily year after year. By sophomore year, Macy had stopped caring about the stares or whispers. She decided her height wasn't something to hide, it was something to own. Sure, it's not always easy. Finding clothes that fit? Forget IT. She needs custom pieces just to feel comfortable. Cars? A nightmare. But Macy's learned to embrace it. Her height sets her apart and makes her unique. Her mom always says, stand tall. And Macy, she's doing just that, literally and figuratively. Towering journey. You know, standing out can be a blessing and a curse, and no one knows that better than Rumaisa Gelgi. At just 24, she's not only the tallest woman alive, but also a Guinness World Record holder. But her towering height comes with its own story. A rare genetic condition called Weaver syndrome. Imagine growing up with scoliosis, relying on a walker, and fielding stares that feel like questions you never signed up to answer. But Rumisa flips the script. She's turned what some might see as a limitation into a platform. Through her advocacy, she's showing the world that being different isn't just okay, it's extraordinary. Unstoppable cravings. So, there's this baby girl, Chahat Kumar, from Punjab, India. She's got a weight that's more like a 4-year-old's, and her appetite, well, let's just say it's off the charts. Her parents, well, they believe it's some kind of divine thing, like God's will, because they couldn't figure it out either. But doctors were scratching their heads too, trying to understand why she was always hungry. It's not just the cravings though. Her weight started to mess with her breathing and sleep, which was seriously concerning. Her parents were in a tough spot. Financial struggles were holding them back from better treatment, and that made everything worse. Let's just hope she gets the treatment she deserves. Beauty pageant. Isabellas' journey began with a rare condition, Parkes-Weber syndrome, leaving her right leg swelling to an astonishing 40 pounds. But let me tell you, that didn't stop her. With her twin sister Danica by her side, and a mom determined to give her a normal life, Isabella grew into a force to be reckoned with. From tackling math and physics to shredding the slopes on a snowboard, she's not just surviving, she's living to fullest. Recently, therapy helped reduce the swelling, and now she's confidently walking the runway in beauty pageants, turning heads and spreading hope. Isabella's story is a reminder that no obstacle is too big when your spirit shines bright. Clawed legs. In a quiet African village, Sarah's story unfolded. A single mom raising 4 kids, all born with backward feet. Abandoned by her husband, Sarah faced life's storms head-on, even as their home crumbled and their meals dwindled. Her daughter, once dreaming of being a doctor, battled bullying and heartbreak, but Sarah's family refused to let despair win. Abraham, one of her children, stepped up to help, proving strength is a family trait. Together, they leaned on hope and the generosity of kind strangers. Their resilience reminds us that even in the harshest of trials, a steadfast heart can weather any storm. Double the adventure.
Nico, what's his name?
Callie and Carter were like 2 peas in a pod, except their pod was a little different. They were born conjoined, a rare condition that only happens once in every 60,000 births. But that didn't stop them. Their mom, the real MVP, worked tirelessly to give them a life filled with as much normalcy as possible, managing surgeries and medical hurdles without skipping a beat. Through it all, these two never lost their spark. Callie loved her makeup and dreamed of becoming a mom one day, while Carter was always planning his next wild adventure, maybe even getting face-to-face with an alligator. With smiles and giggles as their daily fuel, they tackled life head-on, proving that nothing could stand in the way of their joy.
Nico, what's his name?
King of Threes. Steven's story is a powerful reminder of what resilience really looks like. Born with Maffucci syndrome, a rare bone disorder that affects his limbs, Steven didn't even have a diagnosis until his early 20s. But despite the challenges, like uneven limb lengths, he's never let it define him. With customized shoes and an unshakable love for basketball and golf, Steven stays active and confident. Inspired by NBA legend Kobe Bryant, he channels that same energy on TikTok, where he's known as the King of Threes. With humor, grace, and a determination to break stereotypes, Steven shows the world that being different is something to celebrate, not hide. Marked beauty. Have you ever seen someone with a look so striking it stops you in your tracks? That's baby Million, a little girl born with a patch of snow-white hair, like a streak of lightning in her curls. Here's the kicker. She's the 4th generation in her family with this rare birthmark. Her mom, Brianna, has it too, and strangers can't help but ask about their matching signature look. But there's a twist. The family doesn't know exactly how far back it goes. Brianna's grandmother was adopted, so the mystery still exists. Still, Brianna's on a mission to teach Million that her unique appearance isn't just beautiful, it's powerful. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's your family's hidden legacy? Uncharted path.
Happy you came.
I'm really happy I came too.
Yep.
Grayson's life wasn't like anyone else's, yet there was something about the way he lived it that drew people in. Born with Grayson's syndrome, a rare condition that combined craniofacial issues, hydrocephalus, and limb deformities, he was a true one-of-a-kind. Doctors had never seen anything quite like it, but Grayson didn't want to be treated as a medical marvel. He just wanted to be himself. He was all about baseball, hanging out with his friends, and living life his way. His parents, they were his biggest supporters, advocating for love and acceptance in a world that so often overlooks differences. Though Grayson passed in 2021, his impact continues to inspire those who knew him.
Extreme upper body strength.
Hair mystery. Waking up each day and knowing people will stare, not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are. That's Lalit's world. Born with hypertrichosis. Yeah, the so-called werewolf syndrome. His face and body are covered in thick hair. At just 13, he has faced more judgment than most of us could handle in a lifetime, but he's learned to meet those challenges head-on. He's surrounded by family who remind him daily of his worth beyond appearances. Treatments help manage the condition, but for Lalit, it's not just about removing hair. It's about proving that no label defines him. Pretty inspiring, isn't it? Unbreakable Spirit. There's something hauntingly powerful about Lizzie's journey. Imagine being labeled the world's ugliest woman in a viral video. Millions of views, millions of cruel comments, and yet Lizzie refused to let those words define her. Instead of folding under the weight of hate, she found her strength, anchored by faith and the unshakable support of her family. Lizzie's story isn't about her rare condition. It's about how she transformed pain into purpose. Standing before audiences, she shares her struggles and triumphs, reminding us all beauty isn't skin deep, and kindness can be revolutionary. Wolfman.
In my hands, in my feet.
Have you ever heard about someone so unique? It feels like they walked out of a storybook. That's Barry Gomes, known as the Wolfman. He's covered in hair, like 95% of his body. And yes, people stared. Growing up, that couldn't have been easy. Kids can be ruthless, and adults, sometimes worse. But Barry, the guy, flipped the script. Instead of hiding, he owned it. Sure, he struggled with self-image and relationships, but he built a life full of meaning. Imagine the guts that takes. He talks about kindness, about seeing people for who they are, not what they look like. Honestly, his story hits deep.
You have to pay a lot of money to get a shirt and
Fearless flight.
Right here on the yoke, and my left foot here.
Now, you might think that flying without arms is impossible, right? Well, Jessica Cox is here to prove you wrong. Born without arms, she was terrified of flying, but instead of letting fear control her, she tackled it head-on. Today, she's the first and only licensed pilot in the nation without arms. How wild is that? She uses her feet to control the plane, like she's been doing with everything else in her life. Texting, playing the piano, you name it. Watching her take off and land flawlessly is pure magic. It's proof that with determination, the sky is truly the limit. She's rewriting the rules, one flight at a time.
Toe to push on the push-to-talk switch.
Keep pushing.
I believe I can do for all of my dreams. So hopefully...
Life really knows how to throw some curveballs, huh? Sam's story isn't just about dealing with progeria. It's all about chasing your dreams no matter what. It's pretty powerful when you think about it. Sam was an 18-year-old who weighed 50 pounds and wanted to play the snare drum in his high school marching band. But get this, the snare drum weighed 40 pounds. Almost double his weight. Sounds impossible, right? But with a little creativity and a ton of determination, Sam crafted a 6-pound harness for the drum. He wasn't just breaking through physical barriers. He was showing everyone that if you're willing to put in the effort, there's always a way. Sadly, Sam passed away in 2014. Claw-like toes. Glenn's struggle with his feet was a constant battle every single day. It wasn't just the pain that gnawed at him, it was the mocking. People didn't understand, calling him names and making cruel jokes, pushing him into a corner that led to more fights than he cared to remember. What they didn't know was that Glenn had a rare condition called ectrodactyly, which meant he was missing some of his toes. His feet still worked, but the pain was a daily companion. The doctors recommended custom footwear to ease the discomfort. At first, it felt like just another reminder of what he was missing, but maybe, just maybe, it could be the answer to stepping forward without fear. Open discussion. Ever met someone whose life story makes you pause? Bellagi, a 13-year-old from India, was born with a tail and paralysis below the waist. His condition, spina bifida, is a rare birth defect where the spinal cord doesn't develop properly. In his village, some folks see his tail as a divine sign, even worshipping him. But Bellagi, he just wants to be like any other kid, free from the challenges his tail brings. His grandfather has been his rock, caring for him daily. Bellagi dreams of a life without his tail, hoping for a future where he can walk and play like his peers.